compared to other lifters, we're so concerned about lifting them, and they're in, as Carol said before, much more of a flexed posture that there's no opportunity for them to use what gross motor control, what postural control they do have.
And I think the SoloLift, it does give you that flexion moment where it's a safer position to load somebody into a gait trainer or any piece of equipment. A lot of times what we see with our consumers with high tone who have cerebral palsy is they use a lot of extension and they stand using their extensor tone. And it's very hard to control movement with somebody who's extended. It's hard for the consumer, it's hard for the staff person. So that flexed posture automatically makes it more safe.
I think one of the things that's always a priority for me is keeping my staff safe and keeping my staff healthy. And one way to do that is to ensure that their backs stay strong. I think with the SoloLift, I think it is certainly possible that we as an organization could actually reach that goal of zero lifting, where staff would be able to use a lift every time they needed to move someone or transfer someone. The price tag that is attached could very quickly be recouped just with the lack of 1 or 2 injuries. If a staff person gets injured, you're talking a lot of dollars that could result, and I think the SoloLift certainly could eliminate that.
UCP has tracked the number of accidents caused by lifting, and they've been following it for a number of years. The use of mechanical lifts has significantly decreased the number of injuries to staff members and to the people we serve. The SoloLift is more forward-thinking than any of the other current lifts that we've worked with because it's addressing issues that have yet to be addressed by the existing lifts.
Hi, I'm Terry Goebel. I've transferred a lot of clients during my career, and it's not always easy. That's why I'm so excited about the SoloLift. You've already heard a lot of caregivers talk about how simple it is to use, and now I'm going to give you a few helpful hints. Maybe the most unique thing about the SoloLift is the Solo Vest. Instead of a collection of straps and slings, your client actually wears this comfortable padded vest. It's a little bit like buckling on a life jacket. The vest comes in 2 sizes, small and large, and the key is to get the right fit. The vest should be really snug and hug the client around the rib cage and below the belt line. You don't want it to ride up too high. Choosing the right size depends upon the shape of your client's torso, their arm and shoulder muscle tone, and how much weight they can bear. Start with their weight and waist girth measurements. If they fall in between the overlap of the 2 sizes, try the smaller vest first. Clients with better muscle tone and a larger chest may be more comfortable in the larger vest. The goal is to avoid pressure under the axilla with support in the front. A great way to check that the fit is right is to make sure that the armpit cutouts stay lined up with the client's underarm and that there's at least 2 inches of overlap of the front panels. Watch the vest closely as you start to lift. If it begins to slide up or if the client appears uncomfortable, simply lower him back down and adjust the vest, either lower or tighter, or try a smaller vest. It may take a little adjusting when you first start using the vest, but once you get the fit right, it's very secure and comfortable, even for women. Another nice thing about the Solo Vest is that there's nothing beneath the waist. So during toileting, it's very easy to manage and adjust clothing. Remember, this vest really hugs. That's why it's so secure. And it may take a few transfers for your clients to get used to that feeling. And as with all transfer devices, it won't be the right solution for all clients, but the vast majority will be really glad that you made the change. There are a lot of different ways to use the SoloLift, and you're about to see 2 of the most common, and then I'll be back.
Watch how a single caregiver can easily move a client from a wheelchair to a toilet or commode with no lifting whatsoever. The unique lifting vest secures your client entirely above the waist. Straps are tightly fastened for comfort. Just 30 inches wide, the SoloLift can pass through standard doorways. Legs extend for stability or to get closer to a wheelchair. The lifting arm rotates 90 degrees, making it easy to reach the simple vest hooks behind the client. Leg supports pass under the client from either side and attach with no hassle and no pinching. A T-grip makes it a breeze. Unclick the wheelchair safety belt, and the client can hold the padded bar if desired for extra stability. From there, Rifton SoloLift does all the work. With the easy-to-use hand pendant, one caregiver can lift an individual up to 275 pounds. We've tested the SoloLift for toughness, so it will work reliably for years. Now that the client is supported upright and comfortably, just rotate the lift to the nearby toilet. The SoloLift's above-the-waist design lets you arrange clothing while the client is comfortably suspended. Then easily lower her to the toilet. The vest stays on throughout toileting. Hygiene and clothing adjustments are easy. Then, simply reverse steps to return the client to the chair, rebuckle the wheelchair belt, and you're on your way. The Rifton SoloLift makes it fast and comfortable to transfer from a wheelchair to forward-standing equipment, something no other transfer device can do. Watch how smooth the process is with the SoloLift. The client's feet can stay in constant contact with the ground for that all-important sense of security. First, the above-the-waist lifting vest is fastened with no lifting or wrestling with slings before or after transfer. Its hug-like fit keeps the client secure. Once foot supports are out of the way, the SoloLift rolls right up to the chair. Small and compact, there's nothing intimidating about Rifton's SoloLift. Rotate the lifting arm behind your client, and the vest is attached with simple hooks. Undo the chair safety belt, and the padded bar is always available for extra stability. The SoloLift does the rest of the work. Using the hand pendant, the client is lifted in an arc to a standing position. Both feet remain in contact with the floor while the lift bears the weight. Now your client is in a natural upright position while you remove the wheelchair. With the flip of a switch, the client can pivot 180 degrees and is now facing the pacer or gait trainer for easy entry. The process is similar for transfers into other standers. Help your client into the arm prompts and secure the wrist straps. And once the saddle is adjusted, the SoloLift gently lowers the client into the hip and arm prompts. Then, just unhook the vest and the SoloLift is out of the way in seconds. Off comes the lifting vest and the client is ready to go. No other transfer device can quickly move a client from a wheelchair to a forward-standing device with zero lifting, let alone make the process comfortable, safe, and easy.
Those were real caregivers and real clients, and no one even broke a sweat during those 2 transfers. I have some more tips for you. There's a really easy way to ensure good positioning when using the SoloLift to transfer a client into a wheelchair. As you're lowering your client those last 6 inches into the chair, either gently push the grab bar if they're holding onto it, or nudge their knees so your client ends up as far back in the wheelchair as possible. It avoids the extra lift to reposition the client once they're seated. And while we're talking about wheelchairs, note that the legs on the SoloLift expand to a full 46.5 inches wide, so it's easy to transfer into the new wider power wheelchairs. Then they retract to 30 inches wide to move through a standard doorway. And yes, the SoloLift is stable enough to move a client from room to room. Here's one you'll want to remember. If for some reason the hand control doesn't work, First, check the red emergency stop button. It may just need to be reset by rotating it clockwise. Which leads me to my last few tips about the battery. You don't ever want a dead battery to prevent you from transferring a client, and Rifton has made it really easy to check and charge the battery. There's a light on the hand control that will tell you when it's time to recharge, so check it daily. There's a little trick to putting the battery back on the lift properly. The clip needs to hook over these two prongs while you push the battery to the back of the holder. You'll know you've got it right when you hear this click and see black bars in the charge level indicator. Charging should only take about 6 hours, and the recharger will automatically turn off when it's done. As long as you keep the spare battery charged, you'll never need my final tip. But just in case, if you need to lower a client and the hand control doesn't work, simply pull up on this manual lowering lever. The higher you lift the lever, the faster the lowering. That's it. I hope you enjoy using the SoloLift as much as I have. I'd never go back to the old way.
The 3 words that I think I would probably use to describe the SoloLift would be easy, safe, and convenient.
Safe, secure, and easy.
Well, I'm going to say safe.
Easy, comfortable.
Quick. I took your words.
I would say, the safety, security, and comfort.
Safe, secure, and speedy are the 3 words that I would use when telling anyone about the SoloLift.
Yeah, the 3 words I would use to describe the SoloLift are definitely efficient, it's safe, and I can't remember the third one.
I would say secure.
Sorry, let me do that again.
He means secure. He really does. Hold on, I'll get it.
I had it.
Secure.
You're too close to me. It's
I know.
coming through your ear.
I've never been this close to you this long. It's a really difficult process.
That's why you're sweating. It's not the
I
lights.
know. It's terrible.
Can you ask me that question again?